It's time for Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network. Tiger Talk, live from the Golden Q in Hayes. The Golden Q, dining, billiards, and a whole lot more. 2 blocks east of campus. The Golden Q. If the game is on, we're open. Tiger Talk is also brought to you by these premier Tiger sponsors. Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Alice, banking one story at a time. The Hayes Med Orthopedic Institute, expertise, technology, and compassion, all right here. Adams Brown, strategic allies and CPAs. BTI, your John Deere dealer in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, our family in partnership with your family. The Taco Shop, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. You've never had it so good. G&L Tire and Automotive, complete automotive service and repair, and tires for all driving needs.
And a good Monday afternoon. Welcome into Tiger Talk here on the Tiger Sports Network. Gerard Welbrock, joined by women's coach Tony Hobson. Men's coach Mark Johnson will be along here a little bit later as we talk some Fort Hays State basketball. We're live at the Golden Q, just 2 blocks east of campus. Certainly would love to see you come out and join us for the program. You can always chime in with a question. You can go to the FHSU Athletics website, FHSUathletics.com. Click on Fan Zone. You get that drop-down menu, and there at the bottom, ask the coach. And if we use your question, you'll be in the running for a $25 gift certificate for some food here at the Golden Q. Of course, they have their burger of the month. They always have a daily burger and daily food and drink special, so stop on by. We can tell it's getting busier today. The students back in town. Classes start back up tomorrow here at the Golden Q. Well, good week for the Fort Hays State women. A couple of big wins. They knocked off Northwest Missouri State at home last Wednesday, and then Saturday afternoon a 13-point win at Missouri Western. And with that, we bring in the coach of the Tigers, Tony Hobson, and congratulations. It was a big win. Started off with Northwest, and then you had to go to St. Joe to play the Griffins. 2 different styles. I think number one, fewest points allowed in the conference by Northwest, most points scored going into the game on Saturday by Western, and your team adapted well, got 2 big victories for your team.
Well, we did, and Northwest especially is kind of an upstart. I mean, you could kind of see it coming the last few years. Like you thought you saw improvement. The record wasn't any better, but the players they had were a little better, and they were playing people closer. And so you could kind of see it coming, and they've kind of taken that next step this year, and they're playing with a lot of enthusiasm and excitement, and they're raring to go. And you can tell that, if they hadn't won before, now that they're winning some, it's a lot more fun than losing.
Yeah.
And they're all in. And what I have to battle with our team all the time is just it's complacency. We've been ranked in the top 10 for 2 straight years and top 5 all this year, and sometimes you get a complacency in your team that they think all they have to do is show up, and we're ranked high, we're going to beat them. And we fight that. I think everybody does. That's why you see so many teams, once they get up there, get knocked off. It happens in every level, men and women, in the polls. So we just have to maintain our intensity and our excitement, enthusiasm about playing when these teams come in, because they remember last time we played them and we handled them easily, and they're a different team. It's a different year. So it was a good game, and I knew they would be tough to handle. They'd only lost 2 games up to that point, and posed us some difficulty guarding the perimeter, and then you catch them on a hot night, and you're going to have a close game. So I was happy with the outcome. Obviously, I didn't think we guarded particularly well, but Katie Wagner had another big game for us. Olivia was pretty good in there. Whitney Randall had a good game. So, we did enough to win and move on.
Well, you did, and with you couple the 2 wins, and it was kind of separation week, if you will. You and Kearney have been at the top. These two, Western and Northwest, have been, you can see they're getting closer. They're hanging with you. Now you get a little bit of separation. Still a lot of basketball to play, but it certainly sets up for an interesting stretch run here as we get to mid-January. And as we know, man, you get to this point of the season, it goes by fast. But it was a big week to get a little separation from these teams that are trying to contend and maybe knock you off the top spot.
Yeah, for sure. And it seems like every year you have say 4 or 5 teams that are battling for that top spot, and you just want to be one of them. And us and Kearney were in there last year, but now you see some new players. Emporia State's not in there this year right now. Central Missouri's lurking, but they're out a couple games, and we play another one of them this Thursday. Yeah. That's right there. So you just have to try to maintain through this. Like you said, it's kind of the dog days. This middle of January to middle of February is a tough time. You play a lot of games, and you don't have time to change a lot of things. So you just hope you're playing well. But our schedule is just filled with landmines. Around every corner, beware, because you can get it. And we have 2 more games like that this week. And we still have road games at Central Oklahoma, Central Missouri, Kearney. We've got so many games that if we aren't sharp that we'll get beat, that we really need to stay on top of it.
Well, the Tigers got a couple of nice wins. We'll talk in more detail about the wins over Northwest and Missouri West when we come back. Tiger Talk is brought to you by G&L Tire and Automotive. Tires for all driving conditions and budgets, plus complete automotive service and repair. That's G&L Tire, just east of 8th and Main. They're on the bricks in downtown Hayes. We'll take our first break and return to Tiger Talk with head coach Tony Hobson here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wertenberger Construction. Trying to drive on Hobson, threw it away. It's picked off by Randall. Here come the Tigers. Wagner to Bill Saver. Left-handed layup, good. Another steal and a transition basket. Tigers by 10. Yeah, some of the action from Wednesday. Fort Hays State gets a nice 3-point win over Northwest Missouri State. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. It's brought to you by the Hayes Orthopedic Institute. Expertise, technology, and compassion, all right here. Hayes Orthopedic Institute, the official team physicians for Fort Hays State Athletics. We're live at the Golden Q here on this Monday, talking some Tiger basketball. You win by 3, and it's another one of those games. Boy, you talk about complacency, and I don't think your team was complacent, but you get that lead built up to double figures, and you felt really good, and then all of a sudden, bam, here come the Bearcats, and then it was a game on there down the stretch. Be nice to get that lead and then kind of maintain it and close it out, but it didn't happen, and it's tough against good teams, but got a little tense there down to the stretch.
Well, it's tougher than it should be. We should be able to hold on to those leads better, but we've got to, there's a few reasons that it's happening, and one of them is we don't guard the 3 great. We missed some switches we should have made. Technically we weren't great defensively on Thursday. I mean, we've been much better. We didn't do what we talked about, what we wanted to do. At halftime we changed some stuff, and then we reverted right back to it. And I know it resulted in 2 of the 3s that they made was just a mistake on our part. We shouldn't have double teamed in the post, and we did, and they kick it out for 3. And so you just you hope to try to eliminate more and more of those as the season goes along. that's what's causing these late little runs. Is defensively, I don't think we're doing as good a job down that stretch as we should. We should be a little tougher to score on.
But you got the win, 63-60. Made just enough plays down the stretch. And you mentioned Katie had another big game, 20 points, 7 boards, 5 assists. Olivia had a double-figure scoring game, and it's an interesting matchup with these guys because the way they use their guards, I mean, they back you down and they use it to kick out, and you get the night where they may hit 10 threes. They were, and they had some open ones, but they had some well-contested ones too. I mean, it was one of those games they were knocking it in, but the way they use their guards may be different than a lot of teams that you face.
Yeah, they're big, strong kids, and they back you down and wait for the double, and then they're good passers to the perimeter, and that's their game. Their men do exactly the same thing if you watch them. And he was a former player and assistant in the men's program. So if you watch their men play, they do the same thing. They have active kids that can get to the basket and back you down, and then they surround them with shooters. So if you go to help, you're at their mercy. They're going to, whether they can make the shot or not. So you just have to. You hope you have somebody that can guard those guys one-on-one as they're backing you down, but sometimes you don't, and you make a mistake. So. Like you said, we made enough plays to beat them, and I'll tell you, the first half, I thought we had some of the, I don't know if you call it pretty, but some of the prettiest fast break baskets that we've had in a long time. I mean, passes by 4 or 5 different people where the ball didn't even hit the floor, and we're going full speed when we catch and finish. And you look at our assist. I don't know, it was about double, 16, 17, and 8 turnovers. It was just
18 and 8 and 18 assists on 23 made baskets.
Yeah, so 18 assists and 8 turnovers, and we're just passing the ball really well. We do share it, and we don't care who shoots it. And that's why that's happening. But I really like that part of our game right now.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, you're pressing a little bit more this year. I think you have a team that can do that. It's resulted in some of those things. But as far as the transition goes, it doesn't matter where it starts, where it finishes, who's involved. We've seen it from everybody. Whoever starts the break, maybe he's the middleman and gets the finished product. It's been fun to watch because it's all those parts seem to be interchangeable right now.
Well, you have Randall's just super at just sprinting the floor she gets up floor as fast as anybody. Same with Dilsaver. And then you have Wagner, who's a good distributor. She's a good in the open court for a 4-man as far as making the pass. And then you have Jaden, who's a great passer over the top or wherever, and Galladay's helped us out there too because she's a good passer. So all it takes is 2 or 3 kids willing to that can see the floor, and the rest of them that will just sprint, and every once in a while you're going to get good shots just out of effort and getting up floor.
Well, the Tigers get the win 63-60, and then another big showdown with Missouri Western, which we'll talk about when we return. Right now we need to pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the Tiger Sports Network.
With a combination of Kaiser Liquor and Fort Hays State Athletics, you're sure to be into something good. Kaiser Liquor and 14 KEYS Hayes.
Gerard Wellbrock, Tony Hobson, back on Tiger Talk here from the Golden Q in Hayes. Good to have you with us on this Monday. We're going to take another break. When we come back, we'll talk about that Missouri Western win. And Coach kind of alluded to it, another big week. Welcome to the MIAA. You get through a big week, and that makes your next one maybe even a little bit bigger. We'll talk about Missouri Southern and Pittsburgh State, who will be in Hayes Thursday and Saturday to take on the Tigers as we continue. Tiger Talk presented by BTI, your John Deere dealer, located in Buckland, Great Bend, Greensburg, Hoxie, Ness City, and Pratt. BTI, our family, in partnership with your family. More Tiger Talk after the break here on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wurtenberger Construction.
Fact: 8th Street Liquor is where good times start. Next fact: 8th Street Liquor has the best selection and prices on beer, liquor, and wine. Okay, I don't want to bore you with all the facts, but the fact of the matter is, you just can't get better than 8th Street Liquor. Yep, 8th Street Liquor, where good times start. That's the fact. Jack? Oh yes, they have plenty of Jack too.
Galladay drives, hands it off to West, dribbles across the lane, now gets it in low, reverse layup, good by Salik. Oh my goodness, what a ridiculous move by Salik, who has 8. That was steal by Randall. 57-43, Whitney out high, baseline Wagner, down low to Salik, she lays it in. Back-to-back Salik buckets. 59-43, a 16-point lead for Fort Hays State. Yeah, some of the action from Saturday in St. Joseph. The Tiger women win over Missouri Western, 74-61. They're now 9-1 in the conference, 15-1 overall. Kearney 14-2 and 9-1 tied for first, and you got a log jam of teams with 3 conference losses. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. It's brought to you by Adams Brown, where they do more than just run numbers and file tax returns. They work hard to become strategic allies. Adams Brown, strategic allies, and CPAs. Gerard Wellbrock, women's coach Tony Hobson. That was a heck of a play by Jessie Salik, the reverse layup. And then the steal, and she got another one. She had I think scored 6 in a row in a little spurt you had in the second quarter where you got some big separation, and she did that. But that was one of her better games. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, I'll tell you, she will surprise you on occasion with how athletic she is for a big kid, and made a great play. And she gets, when she goes, she gets going, and she's a very effective player. And we had a nice run there to start the second half, and she was right in the middle of it.
Yes, 26 points in that third quarter, and you've done this before against other opponents, but the third seems to be the one. Sometimes it's been the second. You've had a few opening quarters, but man, when you get going like that, it's fun to watch. You're knocking down shots. It was kind of funny because you're 1 for 11 from 3 up to that point. Then you hit 3 out of 4. But it was a game changer. Galladay hit a couple of back-to-back threes and got you going. They got some steals, and you were clicking on all cylinders. That was really kind of the difference in the game.
Well, it was. And don't forget to mention that our one that we did hit the first half hit the
hit the rebound step.
It missed so bad that it went in, but still, we'll take it. But yeah, we were getting good shots first half, just couldn't make them, and we just Sydney got us going and hit a couple, and everything else goes, and we were shutting them down on the other end, and we shot a couple layups in there, had a couple steals. So yeah, those runs are nice because we were kind of struggling the first half. I mean, and part of that's my fault because they'd played no zone up to this point in 15 games. I mean, 3 or 4 possessions, just tiny amount. You don't even prepare for that. And I guess they have more respect for our man offense than I do because they played it for about 6 possessions, and then that was it, and they played zone the rest of the game. And I think it took us a while to kind of settle into that tempo and what we were looking for, and then we ironed a few things out at halftime on what we wanted to do exactly, and the kids, they really executed it well, and we got good shots. And then, like I said, you can run whatever you want and get whatever shots you want. If you don't make the shots, what a waste. So you just have to keep doing it and get the best shots you can, and hope your kids can knock down a few of them.
They're an athletic team. We talk about the guards of Northwest and how they play. Western likes to get to the basket and score, but you did a relatively good job of containing them, and a couple of their better scorers really had to work for it. And a Weiser off the bench had a big day, and sometimes that happens, but I thought defensively you guys did a pretty decent job.
Well, we contained their starters real well. They're Cunningham, both Cunninghams really that are in the starting lineup didn't hurt us very much, and then their leading scorer Clark, she had to work for everything, and she got a couple quick fouls, and we like to go at the other team's best offensive players if we have the capabilities of doing that, and we're good inside with Olivia early, and then we have Clark was guarding Randall. She was either going to guard Randall or Wagner, so you can go to either one of them. So you just try to try to get after them and make sure that they have to guard somebody, so they can't just count on and just concentrate on scoring. And it worked well the other day.
No doubt about that. And another big game from Katie, 19 points, 11 boards. Olivia got 14. Whitney 15, despite 1 of 7 3-point shooting, but still very, very active in the game. So kind of a typical, I mean, you look up and down, everybody contributed, pretty good balance on the score sheet. That's kind of been the way this team's been really from the get-go this season.
Well, I think it just helps you avoid those big slumps. If you have 2 kids that can score is all, and one of them is off, then you have 1 kid that can score, and then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So we have it where it can come from several different places, and Jaden had an off game offensively and didn't really get much out of a couple kids offensively, but just go ahead and guard somebody and play hard, and somebody will score for us. We've got enough options.
But Jaden looked human. I mean, there's times she doesn't, because she just hits everything, but I don't know if I've ever seen her 0 for 7, 0 for 6 from 3. Just one of those games for her. The shot didn't go, but as you said, did other things to help contribute in the win, but kind of made herself look a little human out there.
Yeah, and they weren't bad shots. I mean, they were open threes. The ones, a couple she missed the second half looked good, but the first half, didn't. So she was just a little off. Haven't really seen her off since Christmas, since she came back from her ankle injury, shooting-wise that much. But she'll snap out of that.
No doubt about that. And we talked about it, big week last week, and here we are, another big week. Missouri Southern on Thursday, Pittsburgh State on Saturday, and 2 teams that are, they're hanging in there. Southern especially 7-3 in the conference. They've won 3 in a row, playing well. They're always big. They block shots. I mean, this will be a big challenge for your gals on Thursday night.
Well, they're rough, and their guards are big, except for their point guard, who is a new kid in the program, and she's probably their best player.
She's playing well.
Real dynamite little guard. Reminds me a lot of what Nelson did for Central Missouri last year. She's their leading scorer. She takes more shots than anybody else. She can get to the basket. Plays with a lot of energy, and a good defender too for her size. Really, size doesn't have any. It's just a good defender. Period. I don't care what size she is. So yeah, they're going to be all we can handle. I mean, they shellacked Pitt State and Washburn last week, beat them both by 20 at home. And after we beat Washburn and Pitt, or Washburn and Emporia. Did I say Pitt?
You said Pitt, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Emporia.
Washburn and Emporia. After we beat them that week, I felt pretty good about ourselves, and they just drummed them. So we'll have to be ready to go. They're playing with a lot of confidence, and they'll be a challenge for us.
Well, and you ended their season in the conference tournament last year at Hayes, so now they remember those things, and like you talked about earlier, so you're going to get their best shot from them. And then Pitt kind of was struggling a little bit early, but it looked like maybe they're trying to kind of find themselves a little bit. But seen Pitt State teams in the past, how capable they are. You're going to get their best shot.
Well, offensively, they're pretty good. They shoot it well, and they will. They try to outscore you. Defensively, I think they're average, but they do have a couple kids that can really light you up if you are not on top of things. So again, they're just a game back of Southern. Southern's basically tied for third. So we have 2 big games again this week, and we have to be ready to go, or we will not like the results.
It's funny how as you get into mid-January and you're having a season like you are, you get through one big week, and the next week seems to be just as big, if not bigger. Kind of at that point of the year, every game's going to be magnified and mean so much to reach all those goals you guys set at the beginning of the year.
Well, when you're at the top with 1 loss, or tied at the top, or wherever we are, one more gets you off of there. If you're trying to stay in the middle of the pack, you can, if we can just win 2 out of 3 this week, or next 2 out of 3 games, or 3 out of 4, and we can't talk like that. We need to win them all, and we talk about pressure and expectations, and we've been dealing with that for several years. So. That can work 2 ways. It either really gets your team ready to go, or it weighs them down and they start worrying about it. So we'll see what happens. But I think as long as we tend to business and are ready to play. But Thursday's going to be physical.
Yeah.
And we need to be ready for that challenge. no doubt we can play physical when we need to, but sometimes it seems like we aren't first punchers. We're counter punchers. Sometimes I don't like that. We have to ooh, boy, this is a rough game. Now we can play rough, and I just think sometimes we're a little tentative to start games, and I'd like to see us just a little more aggressive at the outset.
It'd be good to students are back. Classes start back up tomorrow. You've had good crowds, but it'd be nice to have them back and hopefully contribute to the atmosphere. Always fun when they're back in town, and hopefully they'll be at the game. I'm sure there'll be a good group of them there, and that'll add to that atmosphere, which has been great.
Yeah. Well, we can always use that end zone full of students, and I think our kids like having them around, our players, because nothing is better than peer pressure. They want to play good in front of them, and because they're their friends and people they see every day, and it's kind of like the difference between maybe when your parents are in the stands and when they're not. Now, for some kids it doesn't matter, some it does, and it's nice to have their friends back and in the stands yelling for them, because I think it helps them.
All right, well, should be another fun week of basketball. The Lions and the Gorillas coming to town, and can't wait for Thursday night to get here. Coach, as always, appreciate your time, and we'll see you on Thursday.
Okay, thanks, Gerard.
There you go, Tony Hobson, coach of the Fort Hays State women. Again, 5:30 on Thursday, Missouri Southern, 2 o'clock on Saturday afternoon against Pittsburgh State. Tiger Talk brought to you by the Taco Shop. Dine in, carry out, fast delivery. Download the app for contactless delivery, or, of course, you can give them a call. You know the number, 625-7114. The Taco Shop, you've never had it so good. We'll take a break. Mark Johnson, the men's coach, will join us next. This is Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wurtenberger Construction.
Ready to discover something new? The next time you're in your car, tune your radio to 94.3 FM.
It's here. It's Hayes' greatest hits.
Love it.
On 1400 KAYS and 94.3 FM.
94.3 FM, KAYS. Go ahead, check us out.
Shoot. Jared puts it on the floor, trying to post up Abreu. Portis shoots, spins, gets to the rim, and lays it in with the left hand. Winston with a dozen. Fort Hays State has scored the last 10. They're within 7. Yeah, part of a big second-half comeback last Wednesday for Fort Hays State basketball, but come up short to the second-ranked team in the country, Northwest Missouri State. Welcome back to Tiger Talk. Gerard Welbrock with you. Mark Johnson, men's coach, joins us. We're live at the Golden Q here on this Monday. Glad to have you back on the program, and you'll be glad to get back to playing basketball one of these days. It's been a rough stretch. Obviously, COVID has kind of reared its ugly head in college basketball. You've had 2 postponements. Didn't get to play Western on Saturday. You had the Lincoln game last Saturday. It's got to be frustrating this time of the year to have so much practice time and very little game time.
Exactly, and you really start to worry. You just kind of, your team gets in a rut. You kind of lose that game. You got to have games this time of year to keep your sharpness. I think it can only be in practice. You know what I mean, especially this time of year. But yeah, the season right now feels like it has taken a long time just because we've missed 3 games. We should be down to 10 games or whatever it is. But we lost our Mines game, and so I think by the time we play Southern on Thursday, we'll have only played 2 games in the last 18 days, and that's like we tell our team all the time, every day, you're either getting a little better or you're getting a little worse, and you don't really even see it, and then all of a sudden you do that for a week or 2, and now you wake up and you're a lot worse than you were, and it's hard for the guys right now to keep trying to get better every day when you're just practice. Basketball is a very long season, so when you're only playing once a week at this stage of the game, it becomes difficult. Usually in January, February, you're not worried about your team's conditioning because you play twice a week. Your main guys get that game. They have game day game. It's like you look at the first couple games of the year. You can practice for a month and a half solid, do all the conditioning things you can, but they got to get into it's games that get you in game shape. So now you're a little bit worried about, are we losing game, being able to be in game shape. So our guys will have to fight through that, and hopefully on the other end of it, you think, well, maybe we should be really excited to play because we haven't got to play many games. So hopefully this Thursday, and we hopefully we get to play Thursday and Saturday. The guys will be excited to play and really playing at a high level.
Yeah, I got to cross your fingers because it was late notification Friday morning that you wouldn't be playing on Saturday. The one game you played, Northwest Missouri State, we talked about on the show last week, big-time challenge. And I think you maybe even mentioned when you play them, you have to play well for an entire game. 2 solid halves. And the first half obviously wasn't as good as that second half. And when you look at the end of the day, that was kind of the difference. They're just too good to do that against.
Yeah, we have to be playing well to win that game. And, you look at some of these games, our 3, whatever, your main guys have all got to be clicking to win. You go back to that Emporia game, who I think is really good. We had all three of our main guys playing well, making shots in that second half overtime, and you win the game. You come back to Northwest, really Nige played extremely well, but we didn't have our other guys play at that level. And you got to have, you're going to beat good teams. Your main guys have really got to play at a high level to do that, and we just, weren't able to do that. And that was not being it. Once again, we probably didn't guard, kind of like Central Oklahoma. We didn't guard to the level we'd like to. It's just still at the end of the day, I think we held them 11 points under their average. We gave up 50%, which is way too high, but they averaged 58%,
yeah.
And I think with 5 minutes to go, we actually had them down to 45%. They got a lot of stuff late, so we guarded close enough, but offensively just not nearly good enough to beat them.
Well, Hudgens has 3 at halftime, and then you look up, he just kind of had a stretch there. He took over and finishes with 19 points in the ball game, and you get him on a 1 of 10 shooting day. I mean, you'd hope you could take a little bit better advantage of that because that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah. No, we did a good job on him and guarded him, and you would, then you look at why they're good. The Abreu kid, I think he was 28% from 3 on the year, and he makes 3 and had a deadly one in the second. Right at the end of the buzzer, we played kind of that your last stand. I think we had it at 8 or something, and played great defense, and he hits a 3 at the end of the shot clock, up 11, and that was kind of the end of the game right there. So, but that's what good teams do, and guys step up when other guys don't play well, and it's just tough. We got a big week. This week is the biggest week of the season for us, and the fact we have 2 home games, rescheduling Western. We're going to be 4 straight on the road. We've lost 2 home games in conference, and you can't afford to lose any more. And I will say the 2 teams we lost to, I think, are both national championship contenders.
Yeah.
Central Oklahoma can win it all if the things go right for them in the postseason, and obviously Northwest can too. So it's not like our 2 games at home have been upsets or things that terrible losses, but if you're going to be there at the end, we got to win the rest of these home games. I think we have 6 left too, so this week is really big for our team.
You have to like the fight. You were down 17, about 16 and a half to go, and you kind of teeter on this could get really ugly, but your guys hold them scoreless for over 7 minutes, and you got it to 4, but you see that so many times. You expend so much energy, and Northwest is so good offensively. They get those 7 quick points, and all of a sudden 4 is 11, and it just
we came back, we had it right there, gave ourselves an opportunity, and then they just got it. It ended pretty quickly. They did a good job of scoring, executing, and then we didn't score very well. And I think the bright light of the game a little bit was you felt like Elijah showed a little bit what he had a good second half. I think he finished in double figures and that, so at least showed that maybe he's turning the corner. That's why I felt like it would really been nice to play the next game, just because he finally got a little momentum going, and now you shut down again for a week and don't play. So hopefully he's turning the corner a little bit. Really think maybe Caleb and Jared needed a little break. Maybe we took the weekend off and just tried to recharge here, and because we got to have those guys playing well. And you look, since we come back from first semester, Caleb was playing arguably at a first team all conference level, playing tremendous. Has really struggled since we've been back from Christmas, and hopefully maybe getting a reset button will go. And Jared, hopefully, Jared right now just shooting the ball. He's not shooting. He's just fighting himself a little bit. I think last year, I think he averaged like 1.7 made threes a game, something like that. I think right now it's like 0.6. So I think he's only had 1 game where he's made 2 threes in a game. So hopefully we can get a reset button and get those guys off and running again.
Well, the Tigers have mentioned a big week. Missouri Southern Southern comes to town, then Pittsburg State. We'll take a little preview when we return. Tiger Talk brought to you by Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, here to make every story shine brighter. It's the way they do banking, one story at a time. You can check them out at goldenbeltbank.com. We will take another break. Our final break, be back with more with Fort Hays State men's basketball coach Mark Johnson here on Tiger Talk on the Tiger Sports Network, built by Paul Wurtenberger Construction.
That was another legend on 99 KZ Country. And yes, before that, we had a brand new artist. Your home for today's stars and the legends. We play real country. I'm Teresa Trapp. Weather, news, sports, it's all here. We're on Facebook, and there is a listen live link at hayespost.com. Dial us in on your radio at 99.5 FM. KHAZ, Real Country. 99 KZ Country.
Rock back up top to Nanabu. He'll attack, blast down the lane. He gets fouled. He put and he's fouled. Oh my! Hanging in the air with his back to the rim. He just flipped it over his shoulder, and it's good. And we've got a 5-point game. Yeah, I was part of that comeback. I think Elijah hit the free throw to cap off a 3-point play. Quite a remarkable shot, and hopefully the start of some good things from him. And I know we've talked about him. It's difficult. You get that early season injury and that scrimmage, and it just your preseason is out of whack, and easy to forget he has never played college basketball until this season, and it just felt like it's just taken him a while to get things going, and maybe that is the spark plug for him, because you see glimpses of what you guys are excited about.
Yeah, that's his type of game. Look at some of these games he played, Rogers and all that. I mean, he's a physical guy, and when the game is getting physical, some of our other guys are more finesse guys and struggle. You look at him, Northwest, they're going to take away the three, and they force you to get to the rim, and you see she's strong at the rim and able to finish. I think the big thing right now, even he got an open three and didn't come. That's the thing. He's not necessarily a knockdown shooter. But I feel like he's somewhere around 32%. He shoots it well enough to keep you honest and get you to the rim. But right now, I think he's at 7%. I mean, he's really struggling, like a few of our guys from three. You know what I mean? And he's a better shooter than that. And I think when this is your first time playing, and he's fighting it too. Same thing. There's not a whole lot of confidence up there shooting the perimeter jump shots. But I think like I said, he's a physical guy that can get to the rim, and he's a tough guy. I mean, he's going to give you a little bit of an edge and a little bit of toughness out on the court.
Yeah, 2 for 17 from three right now. All right, Missouri Southern, Pittsburg State this weekend, Thursday night. The Lions, no Cam Martin. That's good, and they've been kind of up and down, but yet when they play well, they're really good. They've had a lot of close wins. What to expect on Thursday night with the Missouri Southern.
Both these teams are very similar in the fact big and athletic. I mean, these teams are as athletic, both of them, as anybody we play in the league. They have a lot of size. Both of them have had the injury bug. Even Southern, and I saw R.J. Smith was in uniform but didn't play. Before he got hurt, he was their best player. He's averaging 20 and 9, and so that's been a big part of. So if he's back, that'll change it. I mentioned. Then you look at Pitt State on Saturday, same thing. They've had an all-conference big, and Bobby Arthur Williams. He's finally come back, played 4 games, I think, and then their point guard just cannot get held. He's had COVID, I've heard he's had flu, he's had an injury, but they've only played 2 games at full strength. In those 2 games, they beat Missouri Western at Missouri Western pretty easily, and at Northwest was a 2-point game at halftime. So both these teams, like a lot of teams in our league, have just seemed to have a lot of guys out for whatever injuries, sickness, whatever it is. But both these teams, when they're full go, are probably 2 of the more athletic, more talented teams. So we'll be tested for sure.
Yeah, no doubt, and you kind of touched on it, the importance. 2 games at home. You're still hanging around, but you got to start stringing some wins together here to still be hanging around when you get to mid-February.
No doubt. I mean, this is the biggest week we've had all season so far is these 2 home games for sure.
All right, sounds good. Mark, we appreciate it. We'll see you on Thursday night.
All right, thanks, Rick.
That's Mark Johnson, coach of the Tigers, and that's going to wrap it up. Again, Tiger Talk here at the Golden Q. Hope to see you out out the Coliseum. On Thursday, 5:30, 7:30, Missouri Southern comes to town. Then Saturday, 2 and 4 o'clock, it's the Pittsburgh State Gorillas. Tiger Talk presented again today by Golden Belt Bank of Hayes and Ellis, Adams Brown, The Taco Shop, BTI, the Hayes Orthopedic Institute, and G&L Tire and Automotive. And of course, brought to you here at the Golden Q, just 2 blocks east of campus. The Golden Q, if the game's on, they're open. That'll wrap it up for women's coach Tony Hobson, men's coach Mark Johnson. This is Gerard Wellbrock. So long, everyone.